There's a quiet kind of beauty that doesn't scream, doesn't demand attention, doesn't try to be seen, doesn't need validation, but it lingers. It moves through the room like smoke, invisible yet unforgettable. You've felt it before, in others, maybe unknowingly, in yourself. Carl Jung believed that the unconscious speaks louder than words, that we are drawn to people not for what they show us, but for what they awaken in us. Real attraction is never fully visible. It's energetic, it's spiritual. It lives in the body, in the soul, in the space between glances and silences. This video isn't about physical perfection. It's not about beauty standards, filters, or symmetry. It's about soul attraction, the deep, magnetic presence that pulls people in even when you're not trying, especially when you're not trying. If you've ever felt invisible in the mirror, but seen in a stranger's eyes. If you've ever been told you have something but couldn't quite believe it. If you've ever felt misunderstood, underestimated, or too much. You might be far more attractive than you realize. And this has nothing to do with ego. It has everything to do with essence. Take a breath, and let's explore the 12 signs drawn from Jungian depth psychology and soul wisdom that reveal just how magnetic you truly are. You don't always notice it because you're not looking for it. But when you walk into a space, the air shifts. It's subtle, like a change in pressure, like an unspoken pause. You feel eyes on you, not in an intrusive, objectifying way, but in a way that feels curious, quiet, intentional. And when you look up, they look away. This is not your imagination, it's resonance. Carl Jung believed that our unconscious selves are constantly communicating beneath the surface. What we don't say, we transmit. Your body, your energy field, your presence, these are all living frequencies. And when yours carries depth, stillness, or spiritual maturity, others feel it even if they don't know what it is they're feeling. You might be the one who stands in the back of the room saying nothing, yet everyone knows you're there. You don't perform, you don't broadcast. But your energy announces itself anyway. People are drawn to you in elevators, libraries, quiet spaces, not because you're doing anything special, but because your silence speaks louder than their noise. They don't stare because they find you odd, stare because they're trying to place you. They're trying to understand what they're re-feeling, why they can quite stop noticing you. Carry something ancient. And the unconscious minds of others pick it up. Could be your posture calm, grounded, untouchable. Could be your eyes holding something sacred, maybe even sorrowful. It could be the way you chase attention because you've already made peace with your own company. What? In a world filled with performance, your quiet authenticity becomes magnetic. And this can make people nervous, not in a fearful way, but in a reverent way. It's if they're sensing that you hold something they've forgotten in themselves. A truth they buried, a dream they silenced, a power they gave away. They may not have words for it, but they'll feel it. And their eyes will wander toward you not out of lust, but out of longing, because some part of them remembers what it means to be whole. You don't need to be dressed a certain way. You don't need to smile, flirt, or charm. You don't need to perform your beauty, because true attraction isn't transactional, it's transformational. You may have noticed people start conversations with you seemingly out of nowhere. They say things like, "I don't know why I'm telling you this," or they ask for directions when others were closer. They initiate anything to get near your frequency. This is not accidental. This is intuitive behavior. They are responding to what Jung called your archetypal presence, the symbolic weight you carry. You may embody the healer, the mystic, the sage, the rebel, or the wild feminine, even if you don't yet fully recognize it. You're not being stared at because of your outfit. You're being felt. And when people feel you without understanding you, they look, because they're trying to resolve the mystery. You may have also experienced the opposite. People who seem agitated by your presence, they fidget, they grow louder, they get performative. This, too, is a reaction to your authenticity, because your groundedness exposes their restlessness. Your wholeness exposes their fragmentation. And they either become drawn to your calm or irritated by it. Neither response is personal, but both are evidence of your deep attractiveness. And perhaps the most ironic part, you probably don't even feel attractive when this happens. You're likely self-conscious, maybe tired, maybe anxious. You're certainly not trying, but that's exactly why the energy flows freely. Because you're not chasing, you're just being. And people sense it. They feel safer around you, even if they don't know why, even if they never say a word. Even if all they do is look, you might walk away from those moments wondering, was that in my head? Did they really stare at me? Was there something on my face? No. There was something in your field. Your soul entered the room before your body did, and their unconscious saw it before their mind caught up. So if this happens to you, if you re-often the one others seem to observe from a distance, if they hover near you, if they glance, if they linger, but don't speak, know this: you are not invisible. You are undeniable. Your essence is being felt, and that, Carl Jung would say, is where all true attraction begins. It doesn't start with words. It starts with a pause in their breath, a softening in their eyes, a sudden shift in tone. They may have approached you casually, lighthearted, polished, but somewhere between the first and second sentence, they begin to unravel. They don't know why. You're not prying. You're not analyzing. You're simply there, fully present, fully listening, fully anchored in your own silence. And in that stillness, they find something they didn't expect to find: themselves. Carl Jung taught that we don't just connect through ego, we connect through the unconscious, through what lies beneath the surface. And when someone encounters a person who has spent time in their own depths, who has sat with their shadows, who has dared to face what most people run from, they feel it. They feel seen in a way that bypasses language. This is one of the most underestimated signs of spiritual attractiveness. People reveal themselves to you too quickly. They say things they've never told anyone. They cry without warning. They confess, they stumble, they open, because something in you tells them without a single word, it's safe here. You may have noticed this pattern over and over again. In coffee shops, in quiet corners, in passing conversations. Someone looks at you, and before they know it, they've poured out something heavy. And afterward, they might apologize. "I don't know why I said all that," they'll mutter. "I don't usually talk like this," they'll insist. But deep down, part of them feels lighter. Part of them feels seen. Because you are not just a witness, you are a mirror. Not the kind that flatters. It's the kind that reflects truth gently, but clearly. This can feel overwhelming at times. You may wonder if you're being used, if you're always the one holding space. People are only drawn to you because of what you give. But pause and look again. They're not drawn to your usefulness. They're drawn to your presence. A presence forged in inner work. A presence that doesn't flinch at grief or insecurity or mess. Because you've met those parts in yourself and refused to abandon them. That's what they feel. You don't panic when someone's vulnerable. You don't fix. You don't recoil. You remain. And in a world of avoidant energy, of nervous laughter, of shallow connection, that kind of remaining becomes magnetic. It says, "I won't run from you, because I didn't run from myself." Jung called this integration the slow, sacred process of becoming whole, of reclaiming the rejected parts of the psyche and making them conscious. Most people never do this work, but when they encounter someone who has, they sense it instantly. They may not be able to name it, but their soul recognizes it. It responds. Sometimes this will mean you attract deeply wounded people. People who are still projecting, still clinging, still leaking. And it will be up to you to decide, will I hold space or hold boundaries? Because your energy is sacred. Even though your heart is open, you are not here to carry what others refuse to own. True attractiveness does not mean availability. It means alignment. We're not attractive because you absorb people's pain. You are attractive because your energy makes them feel again. And sometimes they confuse that awakening with attachment. That, too, is part of the lesson. You are the soul that reminds them of their own. And that reminder, especially when unexpected, can feel like love. But you are not a fantasy. You are not a healer on demand. You are a whole being with needs and limits and rhythms of your own. And those who are meant to remain in your presence will honor those rhythms. They won't just want to be seen by you, they'll want to see you. So if you've ever been told you're easy to talk to, if you've ever watched someone pour their secrets into your hands, if you've ever felt like a sanctuary in a storm, know that this is no accident. You are not just kind. You are not just calm. You are carrying something ancient, something sacred, something soul deep, and people feel it. That's not a weakness. not spiritual gravity. And the ones who are meant to stay in your orbit will rise to meet your depth, because your attractiveness has nothing to do with performance. It is the quiet pull of someone who has come home to themselves and now walks like a doorway for others to do the same. You are not just one thing. You never have been. You are quiet and powerful, soft and unshakable, grounded yet mysterious. You embody opposites that most people try to suppress, separate, or heighten. That very contradiction is what makes you captivating. Carl Jung believed that true wholeness arises from embracing the tension of opposites. It's not choosing between light and shadow, but integrating both. Not pretending to be flawless, but learning to love what is fragmented. You've done that, consciously or unconsciously. People feel it, Evan, if they don't have the words for it. You make them pause. You don't make sense in the way the world is used to. And that's what makes you unforgettable. In you, they see someone who can sit in the dark without losing their light. Someone who can speak the truth without needing to dominate. Someone who can hold space for pain without becoming broken. It's not just your presence, it's your integration. Your unwillingness to amputate parts of yourself just to be palatable. And in a world addicted to simplicity, your complexity is alluring. You confuse the ones who need you to be either soft or strong. They can figure out which category you belong in because you belong in any. One moment you're nurturing, the next you're assertive. One moment you're radiant, the next you're hidden in shadow. One moment you're guiding others with grace, the next you're sitting in your own silence, asking no one to save you. You carry the archetype of the sacred feminine in fullness. Not just the maiden, not just the mother, not just the mystic, but all of her. And people feel that, deeply. Sometimes they fall in love with your light, only to recoil when your boundaries emerge. Sometimes they're drawn to your warmth, but resent that they can't own it. This paradox isn't something to fix, it's something to honor. Because in your contradiction, you've become complete. You're not afraid to be complex. To be both sensual and spiritual. To be both vulnerable and sovereign. To be both seen and profoundly private. And the more you lean into this contradiction, the more magnetic you become. Because people don't remember those who are predictable. They remember the ones who feel like fire and water. The ones who make them feel safe and wild at the same time. That's what you are. You're not trying to be hard to read. But your soul wasn't made to be obvious. It was made to be real. You don't need to explain yourself. You don't need to simplify your essence to fit someone else's comfort. You were not made to be digestible. You were made to be true. And the people who deserve you will not try to untangle you. They will sit in your depth and simply listen. They won't reduce your power to one trait. They'll feel it all and stay. Because real attraction isn't about clarity, it's about resonance. When someone has also met their own paradox, they'll recognize it in you. They won't need you to choose between being strong or soft. They'll love that you're both. For the first time, you won't feel like you're too much. You'll feel matched. Jung wrote that we must confront our inner opposites to become whole. You've done that work, or you're doing it now. And that process, no matter how silent, shines through you like a glow that doesn't fade. That's why people notice you even when you think you're invisible, because they feel something in you that they haven't yet found in themselves. You carry your contradictions like a flame, and those who are cold can't help but come closer. Some will misunderstand, some will try to define you. Some will fall in love with the version of you that is easiest to control and leave when the rest shows up. Let them. Because your beauty was never meant to be fragmented. You are not here to be simplified. You are here to be sacred, to be layered, to be real. So let them be confused. Let them wonder. And know this: every contradiction you carry is a thread in your soul's tapestry. You are soft and wild, gentle and fierce. It's visible and untouchable. And that is what makes you unforgettably attractive. You've likely heard it before. You're hard to read. There's something about you I can't figure out. You're so different from everyone else. And sometimes, it didn't sound like a compliment. Being misunderstood is a wound that many soul-led women carry. Not because they're trying to be mysterious, but because their truth can't be processed through a surface-level lens. Carl Jung wrote that what is unconscious in one person will be projected outward, misunderstood, misnamed, even feared. And when you live from a place of depth, People who've never touched their own shadow won't know how to recognize you. So they label you instead. You've been called too intense, too emotional, too quiet, too deep. Not because you are too much, but because you feel too much for people who, if spent their lives running from feeling anything at all. You walk into a space and don't perform. You don't match the energy of superficiality. You don't pretend to be okay when you're not. And so, people who've built their identities around masks feel disoriented by your presence. You hold a mirror that reflects authenticity. When someone has never seen their own face clearly, your mirror feels threatening. You may have lost relationships because of this. People who claim to love you until they realized they couldn't control you. Friends who drifted away the moment your growth made them uncomfortable. Romantic partners who were enamored with your mystery until it became inconvenient for their ego. But despite all of this, something keeps pulling others toward you. Even those who don't understand you still feel your pull. That's because misunderstanding does not block magnetism. It often intensifies it. People are drawn to what they don't fully comprehend. You are not made to be easily understood. You are made to be deeply felt. You're the kind of person others remember, even years later, even if you never spoke again, even if they never truly got you. There's a residue you leave behind, a quiet imprint, a moment where they sensed something real, even if they couldn't hold on to it. That's the power of misunderstood beauty. It doesn't beg to be seen. It echoes. It lives in the soul, not on the surface. And sometimes that makes the journey lonely, because you see the world differently. You feel what others ignore. You move slower in a culture that rewards speed. Crave depth in a world that celebrates performance. But here's what you need to remember. Being misunderstood is not a flaw. It's a sign that you are operating from a different frequency. Jung spoke of the individuated soul, a person who has integrated their unconscious and now lives in alignment with their inner self. These people, like you, don't conform. They don't blend in. They don't need to be understood because they've already understood themselves. And that self-understanding creates a frequency that others feel even if they resist it. You may have felt pressure to explain yourself, to water yourself down, to fit into smaller boxes, to make yourself more digestible. But the truth is, your depth is your light. Your silence is your strength. Your mystery is your magnet. The right people won't need to read the whole book to feel its truth. They'll sit in the space between your words and understand. So let yourself be misunderstood. Let yourself be a little confusing, a little too quiet, a little too deep. The ones who are meant to find you already speak that language, and the ones who can't decode you, they were never meant to hold your magic. Because you are not here to be easy. You are here to be eternal, to leave soul prints, to awaken others, to walk as a reminder of something ancient. You are not confusing. You are complete. And if your wholeness makes others uncomfortable, so be it. There is nothing more attractive than someone who doesn't need to be seen to know they shine. There is a strange ache that lives in those who've even made to believe they aren't enough. It's not loud. It's not obvious. But it runs deep like a current beneath your skin. You've been admired, complimented, seen, but something inside you still doesn't believe it. You've heard people say, "You're so beautiful. You have something I can't explain. It's just something about you." And you smile, you nod, but you don't take it in. Not really. Because no matter how many people reflect your light back to you, there's a part of you that doubts, that dismisses, still sees the version of yourself shaped by childhood wounds, by rejection, by comparison. Carl Jung called this the inferior function, the unconscious part of the psyche that doesn't match our conscious self-image. Even if the world sees radiance, if we carry unconscious shame or unworthiness, we'll reject the reflection. You might not realize you're attractive because you've spent so long trying to be enough. You don't feel magnetic because your beauty isn't based on strategy, makeup, or external validation. It's not loud. It's not curated. It's quiet, ancient, alive, and that's why it's so powerful. The kind of beauty you carry can't be staged. It's not the kind that turns heads and fades in moments. It's the kind that leaves a soul print. It's the kind people remember when they don't even know why. You make people feel. You hold emotional space. You walk with intention. You radiate from within, and yet you question it. That contradiction of being deeply felt by others, yet unseen by yourself, is a sign. It means your attractiveness lives not in your persona, but in your presence. You don't manipulate attention. You don't perform your worth. You simply move through life, unaware that the way you exist is healing, inspiring, and unforgettable to those who cross your path. You might catch people staring, pausing, hovering near you, unsure how to start a conversation, drawn in by something wordless and still. You question yourself, because you don't see your beauty through a lens. You see it through your memories, through the things you've survived, through the stories you've believed about not being enough. But here's the truth. Your reflection doesn't tell the whole story. The mirror cannot hold the shape of your spirit, and the eyes you've used to measure your worth were trained by a world that profits from your self-doubt. Carl Jung believed that true awakening comes from making the unconscious conscious. And right now, this is your moment. To realize that you have been seen, felt, loved, admired, over and over again. Even in rooms where no one spoke, even in seasons where you felt invisible, people feel you. Not because of how you look, but because of what you carry. You are magnetic because you've suffered without becoming bitter, because you've broken open and turned those cracks into openings for light, because you've walked through loneliness and come back with compassion. That is beauty. And yes, it might take time to believe it. It might take time to unlearn the lies that told you otherwise, but it's already true. And every time someone pauses when you speak, every time a stranger opens up to you, every time a person gets nervous around you or can't look away, it's not coincidence, that's confirmation. You are attractive. You always have been. You just haven't fully seen it because you've been too busy surviving. But now you're ready to rise, to stop shrinking, stop doubting, to stop pretending you're not powerful. Not in a loud way, in a sacred way. The world is full of people trying to look beautiful, but you're becoming someone who simply is. And that kind of presence, it can't be explained. It can only be felt. There's something powerful about realizing that you've been beautiful all along, even when you didn't feel it. Even when no one told you. Even when your reflection didn't show you what others could see. Carl Jung reminded us that what is unconscious rules us. And for so many women, unworthiness has lived in the shadows for too long. But now, you've seen the signs. And once you see, you can't unsee. You are magnetic, not because of how you try, but because of how you are. This kind of attraction doesn't fade. It deepens. It awakens. Transforms the room without effort, without noise, without needing to prove anything. So if this message spoke to you, take a moment right now to look outward, but inward. Breathe into your body. Feel your presence and say softly to yourself, I am more than I believed. I am already enough. If you're ready to continue this journey of soul remembrance, subscribe to Soul Elevation, where we don't chase beauty, we embody it. Where we don't ask for permission, we reclaim what was always ours. Until next time, stay soft, stay sovereign, and stay sacred.